I could hear the run from downstairs.
Freddy was telling us about another student in his homestay. The family are complaining because he has a really large appetite, and Fede was repeating what they have been saying. They are saying he has eaten them out of house and home, and now they want to send him packing.
Your host family so dreadful.
No, they're really nice. My mother has a heart of gold, and they treat me like their own flesh and blood. The problem is the other student. He has a bit of a food addiction. He has put on a lot of weight since he arrived, so I think they need to be cruel to be kind and tell him to cut back on what he eats.
Do you think they will? I have met your host family and they seem a bit fainted to me. I'm not sure they could bring themselves to say such a thing.
I know what you mean. My host mother said she had not slept one wink worrying about what to say. She told me they were going to bring it up over dinner, and I stay there waiting with bated breath. They tried dropping hints about it, and it was really funny. They were saying things like, you can have too much of a good thing, you know? But he didn't understand what they were getting at. It was hilarious. I was in stitches.
Maybe you could help them out. I know the other student, and honestly, he's so shy these days. Always eating, none of his clothes fit anymore, and he used to be so fashionable. When he arrived, he was really attractive. And now, 6 months later, he looks dreadful.
Yes, I remember when you met him for the first time. You were quite bedazzled, weren't you?
Is this the guy you said about it was a bit zany but really nice? He will do strange things, but you thought he was funny and eccentric?
Oh, for goodness sake! What the dickens are you talking about?
Oh, come on, trust Will out. You know, and to give the devil his due, he was really attractive when he first arrived. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that you two would start dating.
No.
But I guess all hopes of that are as dead as a darling now. Still, that's probably for the best, and all's well that ends well.
Well, whatever. I may have thought about him. It's neither here nor there. The important thing is that somebody needs to speak to him, and I don't think it should be further. I think you should just lie low and do nothing. Leave it up to the school or the host family.
Don't worry about me. I don't intend to get involved. In fact, if it comes up again when I'm there, I intend to vanish into thin air. And I'm quite good at disappearing when I need to.
Speaking of vanishing into thin air, did you notice how quickly Jess disappeared yesterday after our lesson? 1 minute she was there, the next she wasn't. Do any of you know why? She has been behaving very oddly recently.
Yeah, I have a good idea, but I promise to keep it a secret, so man's the word. What I can tell you is that she found what she was looking for, so at least she didn't go off on a wild goose chase. And I can assure you that there is method in her madness.
Can you tell us a bit more?
The problem is, I want to tell you, it is great fun, but I also want to find out the full story. And if I tell you what I know at this point, Jess won't trust me with the rest of it. There's the rub. All I can say for the moment is that involves such stuff as the dreams are made on.
What is that supposed to mean?
Why don't you all take me out for a coffee and see if you can persuade me to part with my secrets?
Are you asking us to bribe you into telling us that it should come to this? I thought we shared everything.
Let's change the subject. I heard a great joke last night. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Hey guys! Do you want to help us with some Shakespeare?
We can't do Shakespeare because the language is so hard. Sorry about that.
No, but you guys have already been using the language.
No, that sounds good.
Rant, Hamlet, Act 5, Scene 1, Hamlet.
Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us. till our ground, singeing his plate against the burning zone, make Other like a wart. Nay, and thou'lt mouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
Eaten me out of house and home. Henry IV, Part 2, Act 1, Scene 1. Lord Chief Justice and hostess quickly.
How now, Sergio? What, are you brawling here? Doth this become your place, your time and business? You should have been well on your way to York. Stand from him, fellow. Wherefore hangst thou upon him?
O my most worshipful lord, an't please your grace, I poor widow of Eastship, and he is arrested at my suit.
For what sum?
It is more than for some, my lord, it is for all have. He hath eaten me out of house and home, he hath put all my substances into his fat belly of his, but I will have some of it out again, or I will ride thee like the knights, like a mare.
Send him packing. Henry IV, Part 1, Act 2, Scene 4. Falstaff and Henry V.
What doth gravity out of his bed at midnight? Shall I give him his answer?
Prithee do, Jack.
Faith, and I'll send him packing.
Heart of Gold. Henry V, Act 4, Scene 1. Henry V and pistol.
Then you are better than the king.
The king's a boarcock and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, a parent's good, a fist most valiant.
Own Flesh and Blood. Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 1. Shylock, Salarino and Salanio.
You know, none so well as you of my daughter's flight.
That's certain. I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal.
And Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fletched, and then it's the complexion of all of them to all leave the dam.
She is damned for it.
That's certain, if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to rebel.
Addiction. Othello, Act 2, Scene 2. A herald.
It is Othello's pleasure, our noble and valiant general, that upon certain tidings now arrived, when porting the mere perdition of the Turkish fleet, every many put himself into triumph, some to dance, some to make bonfires, each man to what sport and revels his addiction leads him.
Cruel to be kind. Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 4. Hamlet.
I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind, thus bad begins and worse remains behind.
Faint-hearted. Henry VI, Part 3, Act 1, Scene 1. Earl of Westmoreland.
Farewell, faint-hearted and degenerate king, whose cold blood no spark of honour bide.
Not slept 1 week. Cymbeline, Act 3, Scene 4. Pisanio and Imogen.
O gracious lady, since I received command to do this business, I have not slept 1 wink.
Do it, and to bed then.
With bated breath. Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 3. Shylock.
Got to then. You come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have moneys. You say so, you that did void your room upon my beard, and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur. Over your threshold, moneys is your suit. What shall I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low, and in a bondman's key, with bated breath, and whispering humbleness, say this: Fair sir, you spit on me Wednesday last. You spurned me such a day. Another time you called me dog, and for these courtesies I'd lend you thus much moneys.
much of a good thing. As you like it, Act 4, Scene 1, Orlando and Rosalind.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I, Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Art thou not good?
I hope so.
Why then, can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando.
In Stitches, 12th Night, Act 2, Scene 1, Maria.
If you desire the spleen and will laugh yourself in stitches, follow me. Yon girl, Malvolio, is turned heathen, a very renegado.
A Sorry Sight, Macbeth, Act 2, Scene 2, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
Fashionable, Troilus and Cressida, Act 4, Scene 1, Ulysses.
For time is like a fashionable host, that slightly shakes his parting guest by the hand, and with his arms outstretched, as he would fly, grasps in the comer, welcome ever smiles, and farewell goes out sighing.
Bedazzled, The Taming of the Shrew, Act 4, Scene 5, Petruchio and Katerina.
Why, how now, Kate? I hope thou art not mad. This is a man, old, wrinkled, faded, withered, and not a maiden, as thou sayest he is.
Pardon, old father. My mistaking eyes that have been so bedazzled with the sun, that everything I look on seemeth green. Now I perceive thou art a reverend father. Pardon, I pray thee, for my mad mistaking.
Zany, Love's Labour's Lost, Act 5, Scene 2, Byron.
I see the trick onto here was a consent, knowing aforehand of our merriment. Dash it like a Christmas comedy. Some carry tale, some please man, some slight zany, some mumble news, some trench a knight, some dick, that smiles his cheek in years and knows the Turk, to make my lady laugh when she's disposed. Told our intents before, which once disclosed, the ladies did change favours.
For goodness sake, Henry VIII, Act 3, Scene 1, Cardinal Wolsey.
If your grace could but be brought to know our ends are honest, you'd feel more comfort. Why should we, good lady, upon what cause wrong you? Alas, our places, the way of our profession is against it. We are to cure such sorrows, not to sow 'em. For goodness sake, consider what you do, how you may hurt yourself. I utterly grow from the king's acquaintance by this carriage.
What the dickens, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Mistress Page.
I cannot tell what the dickens his name is my husband had him of. What do you call your knight's name, Sarah?
Truth Will Out, Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 2, Launcelot Gobbo.
Nay, indeed, if you had your eyes, you might fail of the knowing me. It is a wise father that knows his own child. Well, old man, I will tell you news of your son. Give me your blessing. Truth will come to light. Murder cannot be hid long. A man's son may, but at length truth will out.
Give the Devil His Due, Henry IV, Part 1, Act 1, Scene 2, Henry V.
Sir John stands to his word. The devil shall have his bargain, for he was never yet a breaker of proverbs. He will give the devil his due.
A Foregone Conclusion, Othello, Act 3, Scene 3, Othello and Iago.
Oh, monstrous, monstrous!
Nay, this was but his dream.
But this denoted a foregone conclusion.
'Tis a shrewd doubt, thou it be but a dream, and this may help to thicken other proofs, that do demonstrate thinly.
Dead as a doornail. Henry IV, Part 2, Act 4, Scene 10, Jack Cade.
I have eat no meat these 5 days, yet come thou and thy 5 men, and if I do not leave you all as dead as a doornail, I pray God I may never eat grass more.
All's well that ends well. Act 4, Scene 4, Helena.
Yet I pray you, but with the word the time will bring on summer, when briars shall have leaves as well as thorns, and be as sweet as sharp. We must away, our waggon is prepared, and time revives us. All's well that ends well, still the fine's the crown, whate'er the course, the end is the renown.
Neither here nor there. Othello, Act 3, Scene 3, Desdemona and Amelia.
Sing willow, willow, willow. If I could more women, you could more men. So get thee gone. Good night. At eyes do itch, doth thou boding weep.
'Tis neither here nor there.
Lilo, Much Ado About Nothing. Act 5, Scene 1, Antonio.
If he could right himself with quarrelling, some of us would lie low.
Vanish into thin air. Othello, Act 3, Scene 1, Clown.
Then put up your pipes in your bag, for I'll away, go vanish into thin air. Away.
Mum's the word. Henry IV, Part 2, Act 1, Scene 2, Father John Hume.
Hume must make merry with the Duchess's gold, marry and shall. But how now, Sir John Hume? Seal up your lips and give no words but mum. The business asketh silent secrecy.
A Wild Goose Chase. Romeo and Juliet. Act 2, Scene 4, Mercutio and Romeo.
Come between us, good Benvolio. My wits faint. Swits and spurs, or I'll cry match.
Nay, if thy wits run the wild goose chase, I have done, for thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than, I am sure, I have in my whole 5.
Method in her madness. Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2, Polonius.
Though this be madness, yet there is a method in it.
There's the rub. Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1, Hamlet.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache, and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Ay, there's the rub.
Such stuff as dreams are made on. The Tempest, Act 4, Scene 1, Prospero.
We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness, my brain is troubled.
That it should come to this, Hamlet. Act 3, Scene 4, Hamlet.
Fie on fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed, things rank and gross in nature, possess it merely. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2, so excellent a king.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Macbeth. Act 2, Scene 3, The Porter.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the name of Beelzebub.